There are some interesting terminologies which are being floating around, and it is our topic of value systems that you need to understand in the floating around business environment or the environment that you're living in. It's the value systems that are going to be making a difference in the world around you. So if the world around you is visually extremely volatile, if the world around you seems to be extremely uncertain, if the world around you is seemingly complex and extremely ambiguous, and let me tell you, these are some facts. I am not I can give you clarified examples of why do we say it is volatile. We say it volatile because if you heard about olive prices going high because यूरोप में बिल्कुल ड्राउट है, वहां पे पानी छोड़ो, बारिश नहीं है, खेत खलियान नहीं है, तो बिकॉज वहां पे कुछ नहीं उग सकता, ऑलिव्स उनका मैक्सिमम रेवेन्यू जनरेशन एक्सपोर्टर का था, वो उधर है नहीं. ऑलिव प्राइसेस शूट अप फ्रॉम 750 to 1200 राइट नाउ. ऑलिव ऑयल अगर आपने, आई एम श्योर आप सबने सुना होगा, सो मेनी थिंग्स वी यूज इट इन आवर डाइटरी रिक्वायरमेंट्स. दैट इज वन एस्पेक्ट ओनली. Ukraine and Russia has affected the oil prices across the globe. Russia, being the highest exporters for a lot of items, has actually not been able to export because the other countries are not taking their exports. So the prices are going skyrocketing everywhere because of that one small little war going on, and they've been fighting for the last 2 years. So you look at the volatility. I'm sure how many of these 48 people you're there in the presentation in the FDP here is, how much do you all are into stock market? Let me see. Anybody in stocks? I want it coming from the chat box. Y'all can raise your hands. I'm completely okay with that as well. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 from 62? 6, 7, 8. 8. Nifty has broken the record of 20,000 today. काफी लोगों ने पैसा बना लिया इस ग्रुप में आज. So y'all should be giving me a party. Anyways, why am I saying this to you is because that's how the stock market work. It's, you all will agree. But there was a period at some point of time, you all will also agree to this, that if something happens in the other side of the world, it's directly going to affect our stocks here. Why do you think FIIs are plummeting money in India? तो बिल्कुल फाइनेंस का क्लास नहीं हो रहा है, बिल्कुल मैनेजमेंट का क्लास नहीं हो रहा है, बट इट्स अ पर्सपेक्टिव दैट वी नीड टू बिल्ड अप ऑन अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट द मटेरियल एंड द वर्ल्ड एंड द क्रिएशंस अराउंड अस आर एक्सट्रीमली वोलेटाइल. So in this volatility, you need an individual like you and me who would have the clarity, who would have the vision of understanding the uncertainty. Now, if you look at the second part of the world, where we say everything is uncertain, it's a very unfamiliar territory. COVID, extremely unfamiliar. I'm sure I don't want to talk COVID in great, things saying that, oh my God, it was extremely unfortunate for the whole world. We lost a lot of people. Unfortunately, when we lost, even I lost. God bless everybody's souls. Very bad period. Extremely uncertain. Who would say, I mean, it is once in a lifetime. Of course, we do not ever want this again, but I'm sure people who have gone, we are all been there, and we are all survived. We are talking to each other. We are all 63 people alive. We should bless ourselves and thank God for being the way that we are. Unfortunately, a lot of people, even in our old organizations, people unexpectedly, my colleagues in my old organizations, very, very bad period. Anyways, so not talking about that though, but you will agree when I say that is extremely uncertain, but it became a silver lining for some companies. Actually, a new product line itself got created. Zoom. We are talking about today's online session in Google, but Zoom. I come from a startup space, so I can talk. I get the liberty of talking a little more from a case study point of view. As an organization, telecommunication organization, just 3 years before the COVID struck, Zoom was in bankruptcy. It was going to close down, and though it being a Chinese, the founder being a Chinese, actually sold it to a US counterpart. It's a different strategic management case study, but COVID was a game changer from a business point of view. Having said that, new out of the home products got, or rather came into existence. So uncertainty, complexity, entirely wired, we are all communicating digitally, there's a lot of ambiguity. So in this VUCA world, there is something that you need to understand which is going to keep us in space, and that is what we say is your value system of understanding what's in your head, what is in your belief system, what is your faith system, to stay positive in this entire environment. Here comes the basis, the foundation, and the cornerstone of the topic that we are going to be talking today. I have always come from a school of thought where I say we need to know the history before the current geography. So if we have the geography which says, okay, my light in my room just changed. I don't know why. Anyways, so if I say that you need to understand the logic of why organizations, educational institutions across the globe, naturally and organically, you see a lot of organizations paying a lot of importance to the value system, belief systems, and who better than the teachers? I have been very, strongly advocating this. I am an approved TOT for AICTI for primary, pre-primary, engineering, and higher education teachers. I'm a certified educator, and we have been, very strongly been told to advocate the thought that value systems have to be in place, your belief systems have to be in place. So here, there are a lot of theories floating around. We will be talking about the theories, but you need to understand that the only thing to keep yourself grounded, your students grounded, your educational ecosystem grounded is the fact that what is in your head, you should be walking the talk. You should, as teachers, Sriram Lagu, if you've heard his name, is one of the very good teachers. I don't know if y'all are aware. Before he became an actor, he was a teacher. And he said that every teacher is an actor. And I love that thought. And every FDP I conduct, I always say this: we are actors in our domain. We come in front of a class, we try to make that same topic that we're teaching for the last 15 years as interesting as possible. Tell the audience what they're supposed to do. Tell the audience how excited they should be to the world. Telling the entire student fraternity of what more they can do for themselves and what they can offer in the journey of their life as teachers. And so I think we are very, very strong actors, and we as actors need to walk the talk. So we need to understand that what is in our head comes and boils down to what goes into the student's head. So we are actually, and at times, ये भी चीज समझना बहुत जरूरी है, जहाँ पे हम बोलते हैं कि it is the tough hands that make a good mold. So if there is a student and you want the students to really perform, you want the student to do really well, it is going to be a tough hand to make a good mold. So if you heard about, आप मिट्टी का घड़ा ले लो, आपने उसको, you put it on the wheel and you're trying to make a pot. You're trying to make a pot. तो आप जब ये pot करते हो, तो आप ये ऑब्जर्व करोगे कि अपना अगर हाथ हिलने लगा तो पॉट इस तरीके से हो जाता है. बट इफ यू कीप योर टफ हैंड देयर, automatically it'll be a good pot. And that is the reason your value systems as a teacher, value system of what pedagogy you would be adopting. And one of the main topics that AICT has made it mandatory is your universal human value system. So it's in what is in your head is going to be positively reflecting in the world around you. So if the world is volatile, the world is uncertain, the world is complex, world is very, very ambiguous, it's what's in your head that's going to be making a difference. So here, when I show this picture, what is your interpretation before we go ahead and I put the slide of value system and Wisconsin experience that you're going to study today? So I want you all to tell me, what is it that you see when I show you this picture? I wish I could have heard you. I'll try different method which was given by Harnish. But till that time, if you could just type it in the chat box. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see a picture like this? And let me try the second method. Admin will have to. Yes, there's nothing coming on the chat box. You don't like the picture? Okay, we'll not talk about this then. What is it that comes to your mind when you see a picture like this? You don't like the picture? अच्छा, प्रोएक्टिव एंड अपडेटेड जब आप इस बंदे को देखते हो आंखों से. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yes. Meenakshi Kadam and Sunita Chavan. Harnish, this is not working. Okay. Yes, Meenakshi ma'am, you want to say something, please. I can't hear you, but maybe. Okay. I like what Bole sir has just said. Third eye should be open. Okay. Anybody else? So when I say your third eyes should be open, what does that mean? I'll just close the door. There could be a chance you would get disturbed. Yes. I'm sure you all know, I'm going to say, of course, this is not a biology class, but just to give you a little perspective, is the fact that, you know, we have evolved from animals. And the evolution from animals is the aspect that in our mind, we always have an animal instinct. Let me just tell you a little fact about it. Having said that, when we evolved as a species, human species, we are the only species in the whole world who has the highest IQ and has the ability to think. But our animal instinct is always there. So the point what I'm trying to drive and say here is that so the point what I'm trying to drive here and say is that when the third eye opens, the ability to take informed decision making comes into existence. The ability to understand the things beyond what is just shown to you. And hence we say that the ability for a informed decision making will only come if you do not allow your animal instinct of being aggressive, of just jumping down to conclusions like a monkey, jumping down and actually acting without any outcome. Having said that, keeping this in mind, you need to understand that when your systems, when your, one second, slideshow, when your systems of understanding your beliefs comes into existence, you are here to go a very long way. So if somebody is saying that you have to be aware, absolutely correct. Awareness would lead to being attentive. And when awareness would lead to attentive, let me see what others have written. So Priyanka ma'am has seen your ability to spiritual. So third eye opens means spiritual ability. Absolutely correct. Anybody else? I'm just looking out for that one word. Yes, anybody. We've got good 67 people in the. Yes, anybody. Okay, awareness, fantastic. Anybody before I go and go to the next one? Okay, I really like that consciousness. And I'll just give the last word before. Absolutely correct, Jawan ma'am. Ready to face the challenge, and your mechanisms, the foundations to take up any challenge as teachers and professors and people from the educational fraternity comes from the fact that you need to understand your foundations of morality. You need to understand the evolution of why certain people behave a certain way, because there are certain guiding principles of the value systems that are there for humans per se. And this is the reason why it has been made mandatory that value education is a part of the way that Indian teachers would behave to, adhere to, comply to. So, whether it's the sense of responsibility that you would want your wards to understand, that is, you want your students to understand, you equally want them to be sincere, you want them to understand the importance of cooperation, you want that they should mutually respect. How many would say that students are no longer respectful? Y'all can just do this, I'm okay. So the entire batch feels that the students are highly respectable. So everybody respects you the way the current batch. Do you agree or you don't agree when you say that levels of respect have possibly changed? Respect is there, of course. I have absolutely no idea what has just happened. So, anyways, can we begin? Where were we? What were we talking about? Because I went and on, and I just realized that I was offline. So I got a call from the organizer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Nirmala ma'am, I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Please continue. We can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, thanks, Meenakshi. I can't hear you, but it's okay. I have no idea why.
Those who can't hear, they can rejoin. They can try by that way. Rejoining can help. Might be.
I can just hear you, Nirmala ma'am. Please say something. It feels like I'm after hearing. I can just hear somebody. 1 second. Huh? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm audible to you.
Absolutely, I'm feeling like a small child now. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Might be some.
Anyways,
Yeah. At some
yeah,
end,
because
the voice. Yeah.
as teachers, when you don't have the participants communicating, I was trying to be very innovative, but I have only 1.5 2 hours with me, and I said, okay, now we have an agenda to finish. So as teachers, we get our thing done. So feeling so good. Anyways, yes, Nirmala ma'am, what were you
Yeah.
saying?
Please, you
What
can
was I
continue, ma'am.
talking
Yeah.
about? Just to, if you could just give me a little, I'll take back what I was talking about.
On your latest slide, ma'am.
Yeah. Because I have two slides being put here.
You can just switch on. Just present your slides, ma'am.
Yeah. So yes, we were talking about value education, right? If I'm not wrong.
Correct, ma'am. Please.
Can you all see the slides, everybody?
Yes, it's
Can the
visible.
participants see the slides?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Tell you, thank you. Oh my God, I can hear everybody now. My system has just started working, and I was wondering what happened to the system. Anyways, sure, let's begin. Yes, so let's coming back to universal value systems and you know a universal H. We call it as UHV. The reason why UHV has been given so much prominence is because of the fact that AICTI realized that there is the generation Z or generation Z that we call, which is changing. So I'm sure you all will agree when I say we have the youngest population. I'm sure you all will agree when I say that the generation Z that we are, or the millennials who are born typically, the fraternity that we belong to, the polytechnic, higher education, it's the same age group that we all belong to. So the millennial generation is a little different. So there are characteristics, जिसको हम कहते हैं demographic profile in our research, management research that we say, is the demographic profile and the profile of such characteristics are very unique. So it became imperative that organizations like AICTI and UGC come up with systems where it has become mandatory for human values, for universal value systems to be inculcated. So whether you are talking about yoga, whether you're talking about protecting environment, you're talking about social justice, whether you're talking about wisdom, social justice, or whether you're talking about the world of beauty and how you need to protect the world of beauty and stuff like that. So these are some human universal value systems which we teachers have been made to inculcate as a part of our KRI with student fraternity. So how are you going to do this? So I'm sure you all will agree when I say that there is a lot of importance to the value education that we're trying to propose. So whether it is the sense of responsibility that you want the generation Z to understand, especially the student wards, whether you want them to be a little more sincere, whether you want them to cooperate, whether you want them to respect, whether you want them to be sensitive to the world around them by being more helpful, by being more benevolent, by being more protective to the world around. So how conscious, look, there's a word that I believe is social consciousness. How high you are on social awareness. Is your neighbor's problem affecting you, or it's you're indifferent? So if you're staying in this world around you, you need to be sensitive, and we as teachers need to sensitize them that you need to be sensitive. So, in this entire level, there's a huge responsibility that we have. in developing relations, in developing the world that we want, in developing the endless depth and breadth of this topic, because purity and power, okay, not sounding very philosophical here, but the purity and power leads to a pious, strong leader. And it is at these levels of thought and mindset which is going to be different. And hence you have the value system. And here, what I'm showing you has been prescribed specifically from AICTI. What you see the slide here is directly coming from them, where they want that these are the elements, the four elements of conservation, enhancement, openness, transcendence, all of this to be inculcated as teachers and also to be sensitized to the world around you, that is the students, as the first point. And then of course you want the ecosystems to react a certain way, and then you want the world, because understand one thing, come said and done, teachers are the cornerstones to change. So if Gandhiji said that believe in the change that you want to see, it's the teachers that you need to change. It's we teachers who need to change. We need to have these are the practices. Now, when I say that, if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 practices, in fact, they are actually 10. However, we have there are 5 universal human value systems. However, what we are going to do is, keeping Wisconsin experience, teaching pedagogy, and value systems, we are going to be looking at 5. But this is how it is. We want the teachers to be open to change. The thought process needs to be exploring new things. So if you look around, there is an ecosystem that is developing to being open to new things. You want more patents to be coming from teachers. You want newer methods to identifying, solving problems. Mukesh Ambani very beautifully said a statement in Economic Times in one of the Times meet, and he said India is filled with problems. So why not give solutions to so many problems? So how is it that you can do that? You can only do that when you explore new things. When you're trying to seek success, when you're trying to understand that you need to be creative and independent in the way that you want to do. So you have to be self-directional. In this process of being self-directional, there is an immense power that you would get. And look at the world around you. The social status that somebody gets when he becomes powerful, I don't have to say. At the same time comes the next most important factor, which is your fundamental factor of what you say, human existence. There was a very beautiful Cambridge. I was selected for a Cambridge TOT, that trained the trainer, for design thinking. I'm a design thinking expert. I do sessions on design thinking, and I've been doing that for almost a couple of years now, post 2016. So there was a very interesting story that one of the humanities professor had come and taught us, and I will take that opportunity to tell that to the teachers here as well. They said that human species always has and a basic inherent need for security. So if somebody says that he is fearful, it's not wrong to be fearful, because his inherent quality as a human being is being secure. So when we evolved as species from an animal, so we where the first thing that we wanted as a species, as a human species, was security. And over a period of time, because we had the brains to understand that we have to be secure, you started seeking security not only for yourself, you started looking at the world around you. So you said, okay, my family has to be secure, my friends have to be secure, the society has to be secure. And then it went to the next stage where they said that the ability to seek security is not limited only to myself and my family. I also want the society to be secure. So you'll have these a certain section of the society who believes that not only me being secure is important, My society also has to be secure. So you have these top social reformers who think not only for themselves, but who think beyond themselves, beyond their family. So we've got Baba Sahib Ambedkar, we've got Mahatma Gandhi ji, we've got these immense leaders who were Mahatma Phule, Jyotiba Phule. I have deep, immense respect for these great reformers. Savitri Bai Phule, great reformers. Look at the world that they have created, and it was immediately not for them. They had a vision to think beyond what only was for them. It was for safety, for stability. So these are human value systems that we need to understand, and we need to come out of the colonial mindset. And here I think we as teachers have a very strong approach that we need to know to the next level of what we need to conform and what we need to break the tradition from. It is very important that we follow rules, we follow rituals, we follow the norms, because every society has a norm. There is an element of following a certain norm, but how much you want to conform and how much you want to break the tradition. There is something which is called as the breaking the glass ceiling. It is the teachers here need to understand that they need to be benevolent enough to help others, not marks. No, no, no. We are looking at a level where we are beyond seeking safety. Now we are protecting the welfare of others. So now if you look at the world, I'll tell you some facts and figures here. There was a research studied for Generation Z, that is the millennial. जनरेशन जी जिसको हम कहते हैं, उन पे एक रिसर्च किया गया था, एंड ये रिसर्च में उनको ये पूछा गया था कि हाउ मच यू आर concerned about the world around you, and you will be shocked with the results. It was found out that Generation Z, millennials, are more society conscious, more earth conscious than our previous generations. So if the previous generation would throw something out of the window, the millennial generation would say, please don't do that, let's collect it and put it somewhere. So when you say about being self-directional, so there is an element of universalism that comes into existence. I'm not talking philosophy here. This is pure science of self-enhancement. So this entire journey that you see of the chakra which is there in front of you, and I'm not talking about spiritual chakras here. Some other time, some other level, we will talk about it. But here we are talking about the pure human universal values. So there was this very interesting university in the United States, which is called as the Wisconsin University, and they have the Institute for Teaching Pedagogy. They said that the world will change when you have socially conscious teachers. And I very proudly felt like telling them, hello, you've taken it from us. This sheet is from us, but it's okay. The Indianness in me came very strongly in telling that it is from us. The concept of largely being consciously aware is from us. You cannot challenge a value system of an Indian, never ever. But let's see how much it goes further in trying to make it more in terms of utility. And hence this concept came of hedonism. How many people have heard this word hedonism here? The Wisconsin experience actually talks about hedonism. How many people have heard this word hedonism here? Let me open the chat box. Be true, it's absolutely okay. If you don't know, you don't know. If you know it, you know it. Okay, interesting. Okay, I'm just waiting if somebody else. So what we are going to do is we are only going to consider 4 participants, because it's only these 4 participants who are being okay. Okay, Rani ma'am was also joined in. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad people are talking now. I thought they were only Neelkant Bhole sir, Vaishali madam, and who else? One second. Sudhir sir, Kole madam, and who else has been there? Kadam ma'am. We are only 7 people in the session. Rest all are not there. Let's make it more interactive. It's a co-learning. Today I am telling you all something. Tomorrow you all will be telling me something. So we all should be talking. Okay. So let me tell you, the pursuit of pleasure is hedonism. Hedonism is actually a Latin word where something that hits the head and you feel very good. We feel very good on Teachers' Day, right? All the participants would agree. We feel very good. एक अलग ही मजा है Teachers' Day पे. And you all feel very nice. Why is that? Because something hits you here and you feel very pleasured and you feel, wow, this is the best profession that you could be in. Not the other time though, there can be challenges to that thought other time. Anyways, but the point that I'm trying to tell you all here is the concept of hedonism. AICTI and the regulatory bodies in education sector have clearly put across certain aspects of what is important to enjoy life in the pursuit of seeking happiness. Now, interestingly, this theory, this is also called as the ethical theory, wants us, we teachers, to create a very holistic education system. And when I'm saying holistic, you want the value education to be given, fostered to your wards or students. So always remember, value systems is of two types. One, which is called as the hedonic value, which got to do more with pleasure, self-esteem, all of it. And second is the utilitarian value. How much are you promoting? What kind of value is going to be making a difference? Self-esteem requirements, more individualistic in nature. Hedonic, more societal transformation. How many people will agree when I say that when you do an act of gratitude, it could be as simple as giving one vada pav to one beggar there. You all will agree it gives you an immense pleasure. And if you want to quantify that pleasure, you can't quantify it, but you feel very, very nice. You just feel very good. इसी को आर्ट ऑफ ग्रेटिट्यूड बोल के इंडिया में वापस भेज के आए हैं इन लोगों ने, बट इट्स द सेम थिंग. इट्स द सेम थिंग. सो society will transform when you promote the value of hedonism. And second is of course consumeristic, individualistic, which कहते हो utility. हर चीज की एक यूटिलिटी होती है, इसलिए तुम कोई चीज खरीदते हो. Now we as teachers need to understand to balance the hedonic and the utilitarian value, and hence we want to promote values that lead to both. However, in the journey of both, you are creating a holistic education system. बड़ा heavy dose सा statement किया है मैंने. How many people agree to this? अच्छा, I repeat what I say. दो तरीके के वैल्यू सिस्टम्स होते हैं. एक होता है जिसको हम कहते हैं यूटिलिटी बेस्ड. 5 रुपीज की पेन है, 5 रुपए के हिसाब से तो चलनी चाहिए. आज खरीदी कल बंद, खराब हो गई, यूटिलिटी है ही नहीं. तो somebody will say, अरे 5 रुपए का क्यों खरीदा, चलने ही नहीं वाला था, मुझे पता था उसकी यूटिलिटी बिल्कुल 5 रुपए के हिसाब से है, इसलिए मैं खरीदता ही नहीं 5 रुपीज की पेन. मैं डायरेक्टली अच्छी 50 रुपीज 80 रुपीज की पेन खरीदता हूँ, चलता तो है. एंड देन यू हैव द सेकंड वन जो कहता है सेल्फ एस्टीम रिक्वायरमेंट्स, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन रिक्वायरमेंट्स, जिसको हम कहते हैं हेडोनिक. सेल्फ एस्टीम सर को लग गया. अब कोई पार्कर खरीदता है और पार्कर घूमता है 250 रुपए की पेन लेके, so he's very careful, he doesn't want to lose it. We teachers, I see a lot of teachers in our college also, they'll use a Parker pen. बिल्कुल साइन करते वक्त वही पेन यूज करेंगे. They're going to be very careful with that pen. So he using that Parker pen gives him a huge pleasure to his mind, which is more here. And of course he talks about utility there, but it's more hedonic. इसीलिए ऐसा बोला जाता है, when you want the societies to transform, teachers are the only agents who can balance between the hedonic and the utility. a very profound thought. इस पे कभी हम अगले टाइम सेशन करेंगे. But I would want to just tell you all that this balance that you would do of transformation and individual and society, when you're doing it continuously together in sync, you are developing values in an individual, and these values are being driven spiritually, morally, intellectually. अगर आपके टीम में स्टूडेंट्स है जो आपके साथ बैठ के पेटेंट करते हैं एंड देन आप उसको निधि टीएबीआई में देते हो, वाओ. आपके साथ स्टूडेंट्स बैठ के पेटेंट करते हैं एंड देन वेरी एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन इंस्टीट्यूट इनोवेशन काउंसिल्स एंड दीज आईआईसीज यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग them in the hackathons. I'm also evaluator for hackathons. If anybody wants to Smart India Hackathon, I'm an evaluator for the last couple of years. You can find me on Startup India. If anybody has an idea, might as well share it with me. Please send me a request on LinkedIn and we could take it forward. Having said that, you are trying to develop this in individuals. You are trying to make sense out of that intellectuality, what that student is coming to you to. And that's the value that you are giving to the table. You're not being arrogant when you tell to the student that no, तुम्हारे sense नहीं, कोई sense नहीं बनता तुम्हारा business idea को. There's nothing wrong in that. You need to understand that that's the value that you're bringing in together to that student. So when you're fostering such values, you are creating a student with integrity. You're creating a student with discipline. You're creating a student who has very high level of social justice. NAC ने सबसे ज्यादा मार्क्स दिए हैं for interaction with society. Why? Because we want students, we want individuals, we want Indians, we want them to grow with the thought that you have to protect you and your society at large. So there has to be an element of social justice, and such fostering core values have to be developed. And this in totality is called as the Wisconsin experience. University of Wisconsin gave a teaching pedagogy where 5 laws were given. उसमें से सबसे फर्स्ट लॉ है डेवलपिंग स्पिरिट ऑफ इंक्वायरी. कितना आपने साइंटिफिक टेम्परामेंट डेवलप किया है स्टूडेंट्स का, सो दैट दैट स्टूडेंट विल बी टीचिंग यू, और रादर टीचिंग यू इज द रॉन्ग वर्ड, विल बी कमिंग टू यू टू बी टॉट. तो क्या आपने उसको कहीं पे ट्रिगर किया है दिमाग में? सो फिजिकली हैज ही गॉट ट्रिगर्ड? हैज ही गॉट ट्रिगर्ड बिकॉज ऑफ some assignments that you have given him, some sheets of work that you have given him, shared with him? When you are inculcating such values, when you are inculcating as a teacher, as a professor, as an educator, as an actor, we are agents of change here. So this kind of a mindset has to be coming in totality. And that is when we talk about systems getting changed. Somebody will say, अरे मेरे अकेले से क्या होना है? कोई नहीं होना है यार, तुम अकेले ही काफी हो, 100 के करीब है. Today is anyways Saragi Day. You know what was Saragi? There was a movie of Akshay Kumar, 21 Sikhs fought with 10,000 Afghan tribals. So today is that day. It's called as the Saragi Day, So never confine or conform to the spirits of what humans can achieve. Never ever. You would develop a certain thought process. That's okay. We are normal humans, so there will always be an element of fear, element of loss, element of I don't know what's coming my way. All of that is absolutely there. But that human spirit को जो हम कहते हैं ना कि भाई एक टीचर कैसे चेंज करेगा, no, it took one teacher to change the whole system. So that holistic education system now with the new education policy, human value systems or universal human values has been made mandatory, and that's why we are talking, you are talking, I am talking now. Just to go ahead, and this is, it's the same thing that we spoke about. So This is the outcome that we are looking at, and this is the challenge that we are looking at. So, any questions? We have been talking for a very long time, and we have only 20 minutes to finish the session. So, before we do that, I want you all to tell me that I've been talking for such a long time. What do you think? Did it make sense? Did it make sense? Did it make sense that when we say that life is always about choice, so between the B and the C, between the B and the D, it's always the C. Birth and death, and it's the choice that you do. And life is always about a choice. So you and I, as teachers, need to decide, need to decide the choice to practice in the pursuit of doing what is right and wrong. And hence your value system, your belief systems, your faith comes into existence. Because the laws, the legislation is being shaped only by value systems. So when we say that we want to live, there are these I wouldn't be going very technical here. I have the last 10 minutes to basically, you know, wind up. But then I'll take the question answers for a good 15-20 minutes. When we are looking at consciousness, and when we are looking at value education, when we are looking at Wisconsin experience, the Wisconsin experience talks about a very important aspect, which we call it as self-awareness. This experience of pursuit, where the body, the human body, is trying to communicate with the environment, keeping in mind the knowledge, the attitude, and the skills. Here, it is important to understand that when we are communicating to the world around you, this communication is primarily taking place because there is knowledge. Teachers are knowledgeable, hence, they would want to communicate. There is an assumption which is being taken into consideration that he is understanding what I'm trying to tell. Hence, we go on communicating more. Here comes the second aspect which has been spoken about in the teaching pedagogy, and especially the Wisconsin experience, is that are you hearing? Listening skills, very, very important. That assumption that you have taken that the student has understood is itself self proclamatory, that वो तो सुन ही रहा है जो मैं बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं. So that recognition shouldn't be coming from you, it should be coming from the student. And lot of teachers fail to understand this. The pursuit of fulfillment, the pursuit of satisfaction, the pursuit of connecting to the world around you with that feeling that yes, I am a teacher and I'm very proud of it, comes in very few people. Why? Because identifying and satisfying का जो ये मेल है बिल्कुल गुम गया है अपनी कोशिश of I में. And that is what happens in relationships also. So whether you are talking about relationships between you and your student, you need to go beyond the realms of reality. No philosophy here, it's pure science. You need to understand that the student has come to you for knowledge. Because you have certain skill sets, there are certain domain knowledge that you possess as teachers, and so he is coming to you. Now, here comes the most important aspect, which we call it as attitude. I'm sure you have heard about this before, that it's a small quiz that I would like to tell you all. You could do this small activity, you could do it in your class as well. I was in our TOT, the AICT approved TOT that we attended. There was this professor who had come from, I remember he was from IIM Ahmedabad, if I'm not wrong. humanities, sir. So he was talking about this very interesting story where he said he made us write from A to Z. Okay. And then he made us write different words. And there was only one word which came to the totality of 100. And can you guess which the word was? It was attitude. You can do that yourself. I don't have so much time, otherwise I would have loved to do that activity during the session here only. Like you write from A to Z, 1 2 3 4 5 6, you write it till A to Z, and then spell out ATTITUDE, and you do the totality of attitude, it comes 100. So you could have knowledge, you could have skill set, but it's the attitude that is going to be making the difference. So the Wisconsin University says that how much attitude that you have in understanding the requirements is going to be different. So how much pursuit you have in the four triads, in the four quad bolte hai usko aise, four. The first quad talks about intellectual growth, the second talks about spiritual growth, third talks about empathy, and fourth talks about humbleness and humility. So as teachers, how much are you getting connected in the pursuit of intellectuality? कितना आप साइंटिफिक टेम्पर को support karte ho? Are you really solving real life problems, or you're just solving some problems given by some teachers who are not even Indians? Like in management, we have a big problem. I don't know more about engineering. Always they bring Peter Drucker, Philip Kotler, and Adam Smith. यार ये फिर हम थे. Now of course we are changing. Now we are studying the Indian authors, but still it is very less. It's very less. Little management theories हमने दुनिया को सिखाई, and then you have the Westerners telling us. Anyways, that is my personal thought. But my point still stands the same, where you say the intellectual capacity, how much are you promoting your scientific temperament in the class as teachers? Are you doing groupthink? Are you doing different teaching pedagogies? Are you using mind maps? Are you using mnemonics? So there are so many different innovative teaching methods that you could incorporate. Are you using cases? Are you using a live machine to teach a live work? Are you taking an outdoor intervention to a place to actually understand how this machine works? If I'm talking about you, like in our case, if we are talking about service businesses, we take them to stores to understand that this is how the service business takes place. So how much are you developing a scientific temper? Second comes is your personal growth, self-awareness. So Wisconsin experience talks about teachers being very self-aware. Like ऐसा बोला जाता है कि when an individual wants to have high goals for himself, he needs to have the EQ, he needs to have the IQ, and he needs to have the SQ. इंटेलेक्चुअली तो आपके पास IQ आ गया, इंटेलेक्चुअल कोशेंट. आप बहुत फेमस है, सब लोग आपसे प्यार करते हैं, you like everybody likes you, social quotient is in place. E, very important, which is the emotional quotient. So as teachers, how much have you developed your emotional quotient is going to be the game changer. And in the pursuit of this emotional, when I say your EQ, your professional ethics, especially given by Wisconsin University, is what you see on the slide here. They are saying that the teachers across the globe need to understand that pursuing your relentless curiosity, spirit of inquiry, जिसको हम intellectual confidence भी बोलते हैं, supported by purposeful action. So your ethics as teachers needs to be a combination, and look at the arrow that it is moving, okay? So it's moving from being visionary to being resourceful to being creating a very clear, judgmental, informed decision making. He uses certain tools from the environment, then he is interdependent, he is compliant, he adheres to the norms, and this is where he becomes an absolute absolute individual, holistically developed guide of human behavior. So on that note, we would be I'm going to share a small case here. Please read it. Last 5 minutes, then we start the question answers. Can everybody, is this clear of what you see?
Vaishali?
Yes, yes, sure. Yes, madam, is
Vaishali,
clear.
ma'am?
Okay, so can you all read it for yourself?
Can you help, please?
What do you think?
Hello?
Yes.
Shilpa, ma'am, I'm audible?
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. Yes. What do you think? What would you do? Yes. What do you think you would do? Consider you were Rajat. Sorry. What would you do? Okay. Meenakshi ma'am, can you hear me? Hello, are you all there? Or should we close down?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
So definitely, I would have kept silent because anyway, Mira has made her mind to leave the job. And in case if he would have told, they would have given her some lucrative offer. So she would have continued, and Rajat would have missed the chance.
Yes. Okay, so you feel okay. Let's
Silent
see.
and grab this opportunity. Of course, I know that ethically, if we will speak, I should have, if she's my good friend, she's my best friend, I should have told her, but of course, I'll always prefer to be silent on this.
Okay. Okay, Vaishali ma'am. Let's see. Let's see somebody else. I have the last 10 minutes. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to take most of your time. I'm not going to bore you more on such a heavy duty topic. I hope you all enjoyed the session. Yes. And I'm sure, like what Vaishali ma'am said and what Deepak sir said, I don't know what is the status of others. Come on, we're all teachers. We cannot be sitting quiet for such a long time. I would want somebody to say something. I'll give you last 5 minutes. Come on.
Ma'am, I would have told my friend about the situation and again given one more chance to think over.
Okay. So you feel that you could have possibly given a little more chance. Okay. You must support whom? Yes, Chavan ma'am. I'm waiting for your answer. Support whom?
Support my friend.
Support your friend? Okay. Interesting. Yes. Yes, Nirmala ma'am, you were saying something.
Yes, I will support my friend. I will tell her the situation and let her take the decision. She can think about it again.
Okay. So you feel that you will take you will help her. You explain the situation to her and help in the situation, right? Is that
Yes,
what you're trying to do?
yes.
Okay, interesting. That is nice. That's a different thought. Okay. How many people would do like what is actually too good by heart, even if. Okay, so you already have a lot of people who like you, ma'am. So, for your lovely nature, I guess. Anyways, that's not the point that I'm trying to say here. The point that I'm basically trying to drive is something which is called as a very important topic of Wisconsin, which we call it as professional ethics. Um, Okay. Yes, absolutely correct, Deepak sir. Now, just telling you a little off the record, or rather, there is a topic which has been very prevalent in the current times, is something which is called as professional ethics. And in professional ethics, what has happened is that as teachers, as the part of the business ecosystem, somebody from professional studies like engineering, from law, management. So we are no longer called as, one second, you know, we are no longer coming from the fraternity of educationists. We are giving professional degrees. So what happens is principles that are governing the behavior. Understand, I'm saying I will sign off with a very strong statement here when I say that principles that govern the behavior of whom, of the environment. So there will be situations like this which you would come across. So there is no right and there is no wrong, understand. But where is it that your belief system, your value system, and your faith will come together is going to be something which will justify. So if somebody says that if Mirabai is anyways going to be out of the way, Rajat is anyways going to be an automatic choice. Somebody may say that. Somebody will say that why should I get into this mess? So let me just inform and be okay with it. Somebody may say that don't pay much attention to this. Anyways, it's not going to be making a lot of sense. So when all of these things are put together, your moral compass, your ethical norms, your belief systems, how much intellectually you have able to understand grounded decision that has helped you to take is going to be the game changer, right? And that is the whole agenda of universal human values. And as teachers, you know, what you say, as teachers, it is very important that the truth prevails, the love prevails, non-violently we need to go ahead, we need to be contented, we need to be peaceful, and last but not the least is the right conduct. So these are the grounding principles of Wisconsin, which we have taken it over the last 1.5 2 hours, and time really flies. बिल्कुल पता नहीं चला that we spent 1.5 hours together. We started at sharp, you know, 2:10, 3:10, and it is exactly 5:10. Right? So thank you so much, participants. We've had a great time, and let's all act together individually, institutionally, to make a difference to the world around you, whether it is individual, whether it is college, whether it is the society at large. Thank you so much for being such a great audience. If you have any queries, we could, otherwise we'll sign off for the day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Dear
much.
participants, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Rajni. Thank you. Anything that you would want to talk about, anything that you feel you would have any questions, which are the different innovative teaching pedagogies? What are the, the classroom techniques, classroom management techniques, anything and everything in teaching pedagogy, innovative teaching pedagogy, you all can ask. Having said that, of course, your value systems and human values are always there. Thank you so much. So if we don't have any questions, I think we can sign off for the day.
Yes, ma'am. Before that, I'd like to take an honor of proposing the vote of thanks. And I really feel great. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks here for your wonderful knowledge you have given and many more terms which actually we made us very happy. The practical examples which you gave were really worthy. And of course, yes, it was a very interesting session indeed, and we really enjoyed a lot. Really, the time flied away, and we really didn't get where did the time go. And yes, one more thing I would like to add to it, that hedonism. Yeah, I love this word. I mean, yes, due to the responsibilities, due to many more circumstances in life, we actually tend to forget our own happiness, our family's happiness. But yes, now again, I actually heard this word after 10 to 12 years. To be very true. But yes, now that you have put this in my mind again, of course, yes, it works a lot and it's very much important in life. Yeah. Thank you
Thank you.
very much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. It was a wonderful session. Thanks on the behalf of Thakur Polytechnic and all the participants.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Ma'am, I had just one. I hope you all have taken screenshot of the session. I couldn't take it because, so I hope somebody's taken a screenshot of the
Yes,
session.
ma'am, I have taken. I'll forward you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. I am sharing my contact
Not
details.
all. I think if somebody has taken all, would like to receive from them.
Okay.
Anybody will contact the participants, ma'am. Don't worry.
Okay.
And we would like to get the contents also from you. They were really wonderful. Which, if at all we haven't taken any of the screenshots or anybody has not taken, we really don't want to miss them, ma'am.
Okay. Oh,
Vaishali
sure.
miss, Vaishali miss, I have taken the screenshots. I told ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Shilpa ma'am. Yeah, thank you, Nirmala ma'am. Okay.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
I'm
Take
signing
care.
off for the day. All the best to everybody. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's great.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, participants. See you
Thanks,
tomorrow
participants.
again.
Yeah.
So tomorrow 2 p.m. Okay. Thank you. Seema madam. Seema ma'am. Okay. Thank you all participants. Let us meet tomorrow at 2 p.m. on the same Google Meet link. Okay. Thank you. Take care.